Did you know that there was a ton of German U-boat activity off the North American coastline in the First World War? If you didn't, do I have the book for you? What's up, everybody? It's time for another book review here on my channel. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going over a unique book today, one that I got a while back, and I'm so happy to be able to do a review of it. And it's this one. Reaping the Whirlwind, the U-boat war off North America during World War One by Dominic Etzold. Now, Dominic made sure I got a copy of this book. He actually sent it to me internationally, and I want to thank him for doing so. This book is unique because there are so many primary resources used throughout the book about U-boats and the defense against U-boats during the First World War. Now, some of you may say, well, what's a U-boat? A U-boat is a German submarine. It's called an Unterseeboten. And so it's just U-boat, Unterseeboten U-boat. So this thing is really chock full of a lot of information. Dominic goes through a lot of different sources, newspapers, diaries, journals. There are logs from the ships that he puts into this book. And I really appreciate that because it really brings this era to life. You're going to read about actions that happened off of the Massachusetts coastline, things that happened around Rhode Island, New York, Baltimore, and so many other places along the Eastern Seaboard. I really greatly appreciated how much detail he put into this book. You're going to read about the captains of certain U boats. You're going to read about the local population on the Eastern Seaboard and how they reacted to knowing that there are enemy ships just over the horizon or even patrolling close to these bays on the east coast of the United States. This is a part of the First World War that's often forgotten. We think of the trenches, we think of going over the top and things like that, but we don't often wonder about what is going on out on the high seas. Unless you're a real big First World War nerd, you don't tend to think about these things. I do know people who love World War One sea operations. They're going to love this book. But for a lot of us who just read so much about trenches, we tend to forget this other front, and it is out in the ocean. So Dominic brings this all together and allows us to think about ideas such as how large this war is, security, the understanding of territorial boundaries in the water, and you see all these different nautical issues coming up throughout the book. And I was really happy to be able to get a copy of it. As I said, it's very detailed. It's a lengthy book, but it is very readable. There are parts of it where it's like you're reading a novel. And this was awesome because it brought the characters to life for me. And I think it's going to bring the characters to life for you as well. So please consider getting a copy of this book. It is a really underappreciated part of First World War history. And there's a huge gap there to be filled. And Dominic does a great job doing that. There's a lot more out there that could be said about this front, many more books that could be written. And perhaps you could get a jump start on your work, writing an article, writing a blog, maybe even writing a book on this based off of what you read in Dominic's book. It's that good. I highly recommend getting a copy of this.